Mark Zuckerberg is one of the richest men in the world. Despite this, the creator of Facebook has never stood out as a public leadership figure like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, or even Jeff Bezos. However, he is changing that perception and is using a strategy that other billionaires have employed. In this video, you'll understand why he chose this strategy and how Zuckerberg and other billionaires have reinvented their images to earn even more money. Despite being seen as one of the world's top experts in business growth, Zuckerberg struggled to win public sympathy. His behavior generated various memes and significant resistance. First, there were countless criticisms of his demeanor, considered by many as robotic and expressionless. Even the way he drank water became a source of satire on the internet. Not to mention the various memes suggesting he might actually be a robot or even an alien. Additionally, Zuckerberg and his empire faced harsh criticism for allegedly influencing elections, as seen in the Cambridge Analytica scandal, as well as for allegedly leaking users' data from his social networks. These controversies even led Zuckerberg to appear at a public hearing in the U.S. Senate. This series of factors led to him being perceived as a sort of villain, a perception so negative that it was linked to the drop in Meta stock in 2022, during which even investors questioned Zuckerberg's ability to continue leading Meta. The wave of criticism was so intense that for months, Zuckerberg stayed out of the spotlight, only making institutional appearances, such as in the video he made for the launch of Threads. However, recently, Mark Zuckerberg surprised the world with a new appearance, considered by many to be much more youthful and healthy. For many, this is part of a strategy already used by other billionaires. Besides his new look, Zuckerberg also began sharing moments from his life, such as his victory in a jiu-jitsu competition. The post even sparked a joke about a fight between him and Elon Musk, which Musk himself endorsed, fueling the joke about a potential billionaire brawl. Details about Zuckerberg's spending previously kept low profile, like driving a sixth-generation Volkswagen Golf, have also been revealed. For example, the construction of a residential complex on the island of Kauai in Hawaii, with 30 bedrooms and 30 bathrooms, has been disclosed. The building will also feature a 464-square-meter bunker, which sparked controversies and even conspiracy theories. In total, Zuckerberg is expected to spend around $270 million to build the property. In addition to the property, the supercar Pagani Huayra, priced at over $1 million, has also become part of Zuckerberg's assets. To top it off, Mark's return to the spotlight coincided with Meta's excellent results in 2023, which was the most profitable year in the company's history. With his return, Zuckerberg has been seen by the market as an extremely capable manager, and doubts about his abilities have become a thing of the past. This has helped in the creation of a sort of humanization of Mark Zuckerberg, who in recent months has been seen more as someone who enjoys life than simply as a stereotypical isolated nerd only concerned with his business's numbers. Curiously, this humanization coincided with a positive shift in the image of Meta's social networks, especially at a time when criticism is aimed at competitors like TikTok, which has been targeted by the U.S. Congress, and X, formerly Twitter, which faces criticism for Elon Musk's opinions and actions. In other words, Zuckerberg's change in public image is an asset for his businesses. After all, in recent months, the news involving the billionaire has been positive, both regarding his new lifestyle and Meta's positive results, very different from the villain and incompetent labels that plagued him years ago. Coincidentally, as news about him shifted from negative to positive, there was also a change in the public's perception of his networks, with an increase in unique users and adherence to new Meta family tools, such as the Threads platform. Anyone who thinks this effect is limited to Zuckerberg is mistaken. Before him, other billionaires also invested in their public image to strengthen their businesses or even to clean up their companies' reputations. whether due to their own mistakes or unfortunate circumstances. The most famous action involved the legendary John D. Rockefeller, considered by many the richest man of all time. In 1914, one of the most controversial moments in the billionaire's biography occurred when employees of a subsidiary of Standard Oil launched a large and violent strike in the city of Ludlow in the United States. After days of heated protests, the strikers clashed with the company's security guards, who requested support from the National Guard to defend the facilities from the protesters' fury. The confrontation resulted in serious injuries and the death of 25 people, all of whom were strikers, including women and children. The event became known as the Ludlow Massacre, tarnishing the image of Standard Oil and John D. Rockefeller forever. To disassociate himself from the tragedy, Rockefeller intensified his role as a philanthropist, dedicating much of his fortune to charitable causes, actions that many saw as a deliberate attempt to rehabilitate his public image rather than an act of kindness or altruism. Similarly, his contemporary Andrew Carnegie was also notable in the field of philanthropy, but many saw it as a tool to help relieve his own image. Like Rockefeller, Carnegie was known in his time as one of the robber barons, a derogatory term used to describe the great American industrialists of the early 20th century, who critics claimed made their fortunes by stealing money produced by their workers' labor. In Carnegie's case, an even greater disaster occurred in 1889 at a recreational club he owned, the South Fork Club, located on the banks of the South Fork River in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, then managed by his partner Harry Thaw. The property had been built around a dam that contained the river. Its construction was said to have been responsible for the dam's failure, which resulted in the complete flooding of Johnstown. The incident claimed the lives of more than 2,200 people. Although not directly involved in the event, Carnegie, as the club's co-owner, became associated with the deaths, reinforcing existing criticisms against him. He would go on to become the richest man in the world a few years later. In the following years, Carnegie undertook a series of philanthropic actions both in his hometown of Dunfermline, Scotland, and in American society, donating money for the construction of schools and libraries, as well as creating the Carnegie Institute, now known as Carnegie Mellon University, and building Carnegie Hall, a gift to the city of New York. There is no proof that these actions were aimed at disassociating himself from the negative image, but since then, Carnegie has been remembered much more for his philanthropy than for his controversies. Finally, another billionaire is cited as an example of reinvention and the construction of a public persona, Elon Musk. According to critics, the billionaire's recent actions, such as endorsing cryptocurrencies and defending free speech, are strategies to alleviate the criticism he faces as one of the world's richest men and for his controversies. Moreover, while Musk is a staunch defender of free speech, his relationships with non-democratic countries are a sensitive point for criticism. Musk has a close relationship with the Chinese government, and Tesla has factories in China, which is also one of its largest markets. Another point is that by positioning himself as pro-free speech, Musk is positioning X, formerly Twitter, as a platform with a distinct difference from others that supposedly censor users' opinions and posts. This underscores the correlation between Musk's public statements and his interests, especially since his pro-free speech stance has increased significantly after acquiring Twitter, particularly with his recent actions. In general, Musk's public appearances reinforce the persona of someone cool and relatable, unlike the perception of being distant that is often associated with other billionaires. Given these examples, the correlation between public image and financial success is undeniable, as is the fact that public image is a significant asset that can be used for good or ill. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe that image is really important? Share your thoughts with us in the comments.